Heading into a YCS weekend, and it looks like people are still ramping up for Legacy on the back burner. Remember to smash the link crap out of that subscribe button, and by leaving a comment down below when you'll be walking away with a booster pack. We've been doing this on every market watch where we can, so tell me what you guys think about today's market. And pre-sales are still up on Gamer's Choice. They have a lot of things that have been moving over here. Remember, discount MCOL40 is going to save you on your purchase. You guys gotta love having codes. And also over here on Kong's cards as well, you're gonna have cards still available as well. If there's anything that you want, remember, discount code M40 works on both websites. You'll get the chance to save on your purchase. All right. We're back at it again out here with the Time Lord Progenitor, and have we really just reached this point that we're out here trying to see this card gain some sort of value? Look at your data over here just between, the last couple of days. People, you can tell that people are hyping this card up, watching this thing hit $20 here. But, okay, so it can't be destroyed by battle card effects. You take no damage, and if this card that was awesome from the extra deck battled, you can activate this effect, manage all monsters your opponent controls. Also, for the rest of this turn, half battle damage your opponent takes, and then once per turn during the end phase, if this effect was activated, special summon as many monsters as possible. You banish this card effect to your opponent's field. I don't see an application with this, other than we're trying to maybe use this in Tempai to try to OTK through large boards, but I don't really, it's never really felt like such a good card to me. And also, you have the Secret Rare version of this now, and you can already see your Secret Rare starting to take off a little bit down here as well, pushing it on up to the $5 mark. So, for all intents and purposes out here, I suppose you've got some discussion points to think about with the upcoming meta. I don't think it's going to stick, but okay. So, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbits are starting to retake back off out here. A few people have been looking at this card and going, well, hey, we're heading on into a meta where you might particularly want Ghost Ogre as a card to kind of offset some of the BS that's kind of floating on around with the meta. Yeah, I agree. Hitting, the Terminal Field spell is pretty good. You're at 106 and heading on up for Ghost Ogre. I'm genuinely surprised to see what we're doing with this. How are the rest of the Ghost Ogres holding up? Secrets still kind of on the up and up. Those ugly golds. You gotta love to see Ghost Ogre doing its thing out here. But that's your situation on the Ultimate Ogre. Thank you, upcoming hand traps. You love to see it. So, evidently, Tempai Dragons have started to explore the option of playing Striker Dragon in the deck again. And I'm not all that surprised, because converting any, dragon monster into this literally assures you can start to maybe do the little sub-Dragon Link combos. There were some Tempai builds in the very early days that you could splash in a Tempai Dragon package and be able to do, mini OTK things. And it's very important that you think about, the lines of play you could do. Obviously, stripping the deck of Borreload did ensure that these builds would not be able to incorporate this and use this, but now that Tempai has finally landed, there's also like the mini Buster Blader lock that you can also play as well. The fact that, we can make the Buster Dragon in the deck, so hilarious to me. But, they want to make sure that you have access to be able to do all these things, and you have a decently priced point card here, but once again, this is the cost of the bling. You can get this in all of the other rarity. It's just the Quarter Century is the one that's on the uptick, as per usual. Speaking of upticks and things that caught me by guard, 35 listings for the Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood alt art, and the fact that you're $6 heading on up to $7 here, we're still in the same position that we've been, with time and things like that. You need to make sure you can see these things. And also, a few people are like, well, this is the Tempai Dragon Killer. You gain back a lot of life points. I guess that'd be like the biggest thing. It's like, if your opponent starts to do the OTK things, I feel like there's just a lot of floatability you're attempting to do with this, or at least you're trying to make it so that you don't die. Well, obviously it's about trying to survive. That's why this card is technically good. Who needs to threatening roar your opponent or do any of that battle phase stuff when you can just spooky dogwood this, and then your opponent's like, Okay, and then you just have to OTK them back on the next turn. Like, and I guess that's like the real advantage of wanting to consider this card for any of these ideas for this. But kind of a little bit of an awkward thing for the meta. But okay. Oh boy. So there has been discussion for the max rarity U-Bell. Obviously, the original First Ed Secret Rare for the Stage 3 is definitely up there, but what if you want the OG Ultimate Rare? I do want to point out back here, from January all the way up through May here, look at this gain. Like, this thing has gained about $21 to $22. Your sales data on this, well, you've got 95.90 for First Eds. Yeah, 95. You had another light play sale for 57, another for 60. So you've got an upward tick here. Unlims are selling about $57 right now. They quickly escalate on up to 70. And then your lowest light play First Ed's going to hit you for about 110. That's not exactly what you want to be seeing right now with this, but once again, you're messing with Phantom Darkness and old classic first edition cards. This is definitely a pattern that we have come to see, especially in the older department for the collector's cards. Jasmine, hey, interestingly enough, I thought that this card was going to actually explode a lot harder than it was. You do see your uptick with this thing hitting about, was it 25 a long time ago? Actually, that was just like a month ago. Okay, for now, your price ad on this is coming in about 19 with a spike or two around the $20 to $23 range. But for the most part, you're very much cruise controlling here, personally. And I would say an acceptable number. But for the most part, if you're out here and you're like, hey, you know, I wanna mess around with this stuff. I want to see, you know, what we can do with the new Rika, Ragnarika stuff. Yeah, I mean, it comes down to the deck building, what you want to do in terms of the engines and things. Do you want to go more towards the plant side of things? And that's going to determine your cost basis if you're going to need Jasmines or not. We talked about this literally the other day, I think Wednesday, and just off of Wednesday, the $75 and the $80 copies that we saw got cratered off the market. Crystal Wing is now up to 120 on up to 135. Somebody has one listed here for $1,500. Now, we all know, realistically, that $1,500 copy is going to be sitting there and is never going to sell in its life, but weird typo. He added a couple too many zeros to that if you were hoping to cash in on this. But right now, with the anticipation of people, you know, maybe looking back to Ancient Fairy Dragon right now with the Revolution Synchron package, now you're able to kind of toggle on up into the Crystal Wing, get that value that you were kind of looking for, and so forth. Yeah, here we go again. I guess this is like literally the last time I can mention this card as a warning to people to go, hey, if you've not picked up your QCR barriers, this card has been going up so much. If you bought these back when they were $18, you won. It's typically how this works. And after a short amount of time here, I think you're going to find this card starting to add on up to $40 to probably $50. To be fair, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, some of these other out-of-flavor ones potentially will have a little bit of a bigger upswing, but okay. Droplets. Board breaker format, $75. Meanwhile, the quarter centuries are right behind at about 60s, which is actually kind of funny, seeing that, you know, you have such a big discrepancy between these. Original Forbidden Droplets are down to 7s now, and of course those PURs coming in at 5 to 6s, and so forth. Looks like a lot of these droplets are hitting the $4 to $5 mark. Wow, Platinum Secret Rares at 5s, 3 to 4 for the Secret Rares. Okay, it looks like droplets have a very steady $3 and $2. Interesting. Lightsworn buyouts. Keep in mind, Fila's back here is a $4, $5, $2. No, it's a $5 card. You get some commons for 23 and 30 cents, but if you want a holo version of this, you're definitely on the uptick here. And I want to point out Wolves. Wow, the Battles of Light's Revenge disappearing here. And the Up and Up. Interesting. I also see back here all of these Wolves up here to be some sort of crazy value. Well, I guess that's all we have for today's market. Definitely some of the most interesting stuff that we've had to deal with in the market. But, okay, so please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.